Let's start by looking at the Rhino interface. When you first open Rhino, you'll be prompted to specify the units you'd prefer to model in. I'll be using millimeters as my units in this course, and this basically means that any value we input into Rhino will be in our specified units. At the top of the window, we have a typical drop-down file menu bar, which gives us a set of grouped tools we can use in Rhino. Below this, you can see a collection of graphic icons. These are our toolbar groups, which allow us quick access to different types of file, display, selection, and modeling commands in the program. On the left, we have similar graphic icons. These are more related specifically to 3D modeling and are known as the quick modeling command icons. Your icon toolbars might look slightly different to mine, but don't worry, if you want to customize them, you can click on the gear icon at the top right of the screen. Our screen is split into 4 sections, which are called our modeling viewports. This is where we will view and edit the 3D objects we create inside Rhino and gives us a number of helpful perspectives to view our model from. By default, we have a top view in 2D, a perspective view in 3D, a front view in 2D, and a right view also in 2D. These viewports are also customizable. You may have noticed the grey grid with the red and green lines in our viewports. This is known as our CPlane. Rhino works with a coordinate system, similar to a Cartesian plane. Our CPlane defines the flat surface we'll be using to create 3D models with, as well as the X, Y, and Z directions of our coordinate system. The red is the X direction, the Y is the green direction, and the Z is not shown, but it is the up direction, perpendicular to the C-plane. At the junction between the X and Y is our origin point, known as 0, 0, 0. If we move our cursor around in our viewport, we get a preview of our cursor location in the coordinate system in the bottom left of the Rhino interface. On the right we have our panels. If you can't see the panels, click on the Windows drop-down menu at the top and select Panels. My personal preference is to always have the following panels open and docked. The Properties panel, which gives us information about any object we have selected. The Layers panel, which allows us to organize the geometry in our file. The Rendering panel, which gives us control over visualization of our objects in the Rhino viewport. The Display panel, which allows us control over what we can and can't see in our viewport. The Named Views panel, which allows us to save views we can revert back to at any time. And the Help panel, which lets us ask any issues or queries we might have. At the bottom we have the snapping tools, which add precision to our 3D modeling. We will talk about this in more depth later. And most importantly at the top we have a white space for what's known as the command bar, which forms the basis for modeling in Rhino.